Expect a 1.3% cost of living adjustment for Social Security next year, which won't be the same percentage as all as your Medicare Part B premiums for sure, or Part D. But before you jump off a bridge, hang in. Let's read this. So this is an article from Paul Brandis, who's a big lib. So just you always got to remember who these people are writing. So you got to look them up. And here's Paul Brandis, and so that gives you a place for where this guy's coming from. He had written this right here, Paul Brandis did. He said, Donald Trump is much worse than Nixon. He may have even committed treason. So here he is right here. All right, so we know for a fact that that this guy is not coming from, and he says it's an opinion, that's fine, but we know he's coming from the far, far left for sure. So Paul Brandis is a lefty, as a lot of Market Watch writers are as well. I mean, hell, even my man Michael Edison, who writes for Market Watch, he's a lefty. He's kind of come over to the anti-Trump right, which still makes you on the left in my opinion, but still, Market Watch is dominated by lefties, that's for sure. For the 64 million Americans who get Social Security, one of the biggest anticipated announcements is the annual cost of living adjustment. For 2021, it's not likely to be much, perhaps as little as 1.3, which means the average monthly benefit will go from 1503 to 1522. Again, the averages don't mean that much because you are not average. Shh, don't wake the baby. Don't wake the baby. There it is. You see the baby? Don't wake the baby. All right, so the estimate comes from the Senior Citizens League, a Washington-based nonprofit group that tracks issues of concern to older Americans. The 1.3% estimate is based on the same methodology used by the Social Security Administration itself, says Mary Johnson. So who's the Senior Citizens League? Look, I don't trust any of these guys, but I went in there to see, and I was actually pleasantly surprised that the Senior Citizens League is they're okay by me. Now, and the reason is you got Richard Delaney. He's a chairman, Vietnam vet, 3 times served tours in Vietnam. It looks like he's a member of the NRA, so he's okay by me for sure. The Senior Citizens League became through the Enlisted Association, the TREA, which I did not know that. So the something Retired Enlisted Association. So we have MOA, Military Officers Association of America, and then you got TREA, I guess, the Retired Enlisted Association, something like that. So, and I looked at more of their board and staff, and a lot of veterans in here. I think all veterans, matter of fact, and I like that. So we got this guy right here, another guy. He's Colorado Springs, so I'm sure he's another Air Force guy. He works at Habitat Humanity at the chapels and Usher. So anyway, a lot of pro-veteran people in this, and I like to see that. We got the executive director, Shannon. She was in the military for a 14-year military career. So she served as a medical corpsman in the U.S. Army. So and she lives in Dale City, Virginia, and she has 4 kids. That's where my wife is from, Dale City, Virginia. Then you got Mary, who we just quoted there. She doesn't look happy. Got to make a better picture there, Mary. But anyway, so okay, they're okay by me. I don't have any problem with that. They're there to advocate for seniors, and that in of itself doesn't bother me as much. I don't like what we're going to read on with old Paul, the lib here. So let's keep going down. I want to show you guys something. Watch this. Here's 80% of older Americans can't afford to retire. Oh no. Half of Americans over 55 may retire poor. Oh no. The problem with aging in place. Oh no. Lots. And we'll see how this 70-year-old super saver has a new habit, spending like crazy. At least we got one positive thing here. But anyway, so then we talk about, as for Medicare Part B premiums, which cover your doctor's expenses. Remember, Part A is the hospital, Part B is your physician. They rose nearly 7% in 2020 to $144 a month from what it was at $135. So how much could these things go up? The Medicare trustees forecast said back in April it could go up by 6% to $153. The report added that the long-term impact of coronavirus was unknown. But seniors can be sure of this: both premiums and deductibles are going up. Well beyond whatever they'll get from Social Security. That's freaking just fake. That's false. I hate that crap. We just showed you, if your average benefit is $1,500, whatever it was, and you get a 1.3% increase, that means you're getting $19 more on your Social Security benefit. If your benefit from Part B goes from 144 to 153, what is that increase in your benefit? It's $9, so you're still netting 10. even if Part D goes up by $5, you're still netting 5. You're not falling back. It's nuts to keep saying this. I don't know why they keep doing that. I mean, I do because they're trying to put fear. Fear sells, man. Hell, fear sells. The bottom line, seniors lost ground in 2020 to inflation are likely to lose even more in 2021. All right, and then as I mentioned in space before, says Paul the Lib, that when this awful year began, some 15 million Americans aged 62 and over were living in poverty. This could explode over the next decade to nearly 25 million, according to a study by New York's The New School and the Retirement Equity Lab. Oh, for the love of me. And Teresa Gillarducci told me, we have to be honest about the likely reality. Millions of Americans are going to have to accept austerity and drop of living standards. This study is it's just fake, dude. Do you know how they calculate income to determine if you're in poverty? They don't look at your actual income. They look at your taxes. And then what does not go into your taxes on the CPS, this current population survey from the Census Bureau, you know what doesn't count as income is your IRA distributions, because they said explicit, and we know this because Social Security no longer uses CPS numbers in terms of their own stuff on the Social Security statement, which I've done videos before, which I can do again. I probably ought to. But anyway, so what they say is hey, you have a regular retirement income from a retirement plan, an employer-sponsored retirement plan. And you're like, well, I have a regular income. I got, I take an IRA distribution for RMDs. That you would never put that in. Why? Because it says a regular retirement income, such as a pension. Capital gains, not in there. They're not regular. It says regular retirement income, and then it says such as pension. It's confusing as all can be. So most people, right, can say, well, it's not regular. It's certainly not a pension, so I don't have any IRA distributions. As such, it doesn't flow to your bottom line when you report to the CPS, the current population survey, about your income. Now, does it flow to your 1040? Yes, yes. Do some groups use 1040 and some groups use the survey from CPS? Yes, some people use the 1040 as opposed to CPS. What doesn't flow to your 1040 though? Well, if you did Roth conversions, if you did good tax planning, your 1040 is going to look like a big fat goose egg as well. There's a lie to say that the bulk or even a good amount of Americans are living in poverty. It's just a lie. It's a lie, especially retirees. And they do that because they want to scare you to vote for their people. It's nuts. And that's what ticks me off about Mary Johnson from the Senior Citizens League saying the same thing. Rising costs that are outstripping what tens of millions of seniors receive each month is having a deep and profound impact on that. Well, of course, because what do? They want to promote fear so you can contribute more to them and have, it's just not rocket science here. Look, I like the Senior Citizens League in terms of who they are, but let's not freaking scare people that don't need to be scared. It's nuts. We'll read this article from the new study. I'll probably read that here in just a second. But anyway, looking at a 1.3% cost of living most likely, I agree with that. Yeah, probably a 5.5 to 6% Medicare premium Part B. I would agree with that too. Does that mean we're all going to be dead and we're going to be having to live in austerity? No, it's silly. Let's see what some of the comments are in here, because I'm sure it's all freaking fear mongering. In 1965, there were fewer drug cancer results of death, no bypass surgery, replacement for knees, and hips was really done. Today, we have much more, but the price is high. What bothers me the most is that those on the left keep promising a single payer. Man, I know, however, the single payer system in UK is avoided by those who are rich enough to avoid. That's freaking right on, dude. Let me give him a thumbs up. That's fantastic. I've worked with, my man Scott says, I have worked with a few British nationals in my career, and they all said the same thing. The public hospitals are awful, and anyone who can afford the increased cost of private hospitals will do so. Right on, dude. So right here, the extra 19-month will go to increases. You won't see a dime. It's simply not true. Let me tell you, that's simply not true. Do the math, man. Do the math. Jeez Louise. All right. So anyway, we got I literally just idiotic people, man. There's no other way around that. All right. So and of course, 15. All right, we can debate all this all day long. All right, so there you go. There's a cost of living adjustment most likely. The best thing to do is prepare accordingly. Have your debt paid off. All right, we'll see you.